am in my 2003 Hummer H2, and this is a mud bog back here. I got back in here a couple hours ago. Barely made it in some of the spots because there's so much mud. And here we're coming up on one of these great big trench there on the side. I'm gonna try to avoid that. Yeah, probably can't get. Nope. I made it. Nope. I got into it. So I gotta ride this one out. And I don't know if I can get out of it quick before I get to the next big one. All right, I got out of that one. Let's try to stay in this tall ground. Slid down. You're totally at the mercy of the slippery mud here, but this dude just crawls right through it. At least I got the ruts to keep me straight, and so I don't get too sideways, and the side of the roads keep me from sliding off anywhere. I had to drop it into 4 low on the way in here and lock my axle so I could get the traction I needed to get through some of these spots where I just started sliding sideways coming in here. This is not bad right here though, but it was a little hairier coming up the hill. I could get slid off into that trench there on the left really easy. And that would probably be very mushy, but we'll try to stay out of that. Nope. We're gonna drop it into all the way into 4 low there. Give me a little more control. Slow me down. Try to stay out of that rut. Normally, I'm sure I could get in that rut and not be high centered, but I got these 37-inch tires and the 4-inch lift, so I've got more ground clearance than typical H2 would have, which is nice. Coming up on some, I don't think you can see it in the video because the way we cut around that corner, but big rock in the road. All right. Look, we're down the flats for a little bit. A lot of mud. I'm gonna try to stay over on some of this grassy area, give me a little more traction. I was gonna stay till dark and deer hunt, but I decided as rough time as I got getting back here, I didn't want to have to do this in the dark. Now I'm gonna try to make this hole. I'm gonna just try to gun around it, and I'm gonna go off road here for a second just to avoid that hole. I should have no problem with this one here. Yay. Easy stuff here. Easy stuff. I got a couple spots up here though that could give me trouble. I'm gonna cut over here and get a tire on this grassy earth so I can get my way through this mud hole a little easier maybe. A couple people have done that already, you can see. But traction is no problem. I'd sure like to see a deer on the way out, but I'm kind of paying more attention to keeping the Hummer straight on the road here. Hummer has normal drive. It has 3rd gear, 2nd, and 1st gear. You can use, in addition to 3 different settings on the 4-wheel drive to give you control. We're gonna get a little crooked out here, but just keep it moving. Get through this grassy area. Kind of give me a slide. So I'm working in the gear. I want to try to get up on top of this. I'm working the gears from drive down through the various gears to control my descent speeds on these, even on these little hills, so I don't get too much speed and slide me off the road. So I'm right up against a barbed wire fence here. Yeah. Good thing about this is I can't get stuck in these grooves. Just keep me. I'll just ride these grooves out. That looks a little deep, but it's really not a big deal for these big tires. And so, no sense in fighting them if they're when you got the ground clearance. I got a lot of ground clearance on this. Most vehicles wouldn't have it. Okay, now we're getting into some. I about got myself stuck right here on the way in because I got off the road all crooked and stuff. So I got it in very low. My axles are all locked up. See, I'm just the road's just having its way with me. Fortunately, I'm sliding down into this into the sagebrush. It's giving me better traction. Now up here, I'd like to stay out of that groove, just because I don't seem to be able to control myself. Oh, I can't get out. So I'm gonna have to. There we go. There we go. Get around that. Fishtailing into this now. Back tires got out. Alright. So we've actually been through several of the bad spots that really gave me trouble on the way in. I was a little more prepared. Had my axles locked. I didn't expect to have as much trouble getting in because I'd been up this road already this year. Of course, it was dry. And I thought there's more rocks under the hard pack to give me more traction. I don't know if you can tell, but I am sliding all over in the mud. Alright. Then I get into these nice rocks. Make the road a little bumpy, but give me better control and traction. I'd prefer to crawl over these rocks than to go through the mud. I'm gonna have to go right through this pit now. You can tell. Okay, this is a spot where I could slide into that ditch on the right or left. I mean. Okay. I want to maintain my speed here, of course, so I don't get stuck. But I went through this pretty easy on the way in. I wish I'd have stayed back there and hunted till dark. It's been really pretty easy going so far. Yeah, I'm sliding around, but the Hummer has no trouble gaining purchase when it needs it, when you got the axles locked and you're in 4 low. Alright, coming up with some big, maybe you can tell, I don't know. Hopefully this is focusing for you. Coming on some big rocks. I'm just going to straddle these rocks and go over them. I could have to get stuck because it's some big rocks, but I should be able to clear the biggest one without any axle problems whatsoever, which I did. Now, same with this next one. Not many trucks I've ever owned could just go right over the top of that, but this Hummer, like I said, it's got the 4-inch lift and the 37-inch tires. So okay, now I'm gonna probably have to fight this groove. I'd like to just keep my right tire in that groove so I don't but either way I should be fine. Alright. It's gonna get a little slippery and there's just almost no way to avoid getting into the gutter on this slope here. You just can't help it. So put my left tire down in that gut. There's no, I don't have to worry about, at least I don't have to worry about, I'd like to get up out of this, but I can't. So I'm gonna have to commit to the trench. I have enough height though, in the Hummer. I don't have to worry about, I never have dragged axle or had the undercarriage hit any of these big rocks at all. Okay, now this coming up, this road splits here, and if you got ATVs, the one on the left is better, but the rocks are just almost too narrow to get through. But if I go on this one on the right, it's a lot rougher and looks worse, but I can come up here and straddle the bigger boulders in the road here, and should be able to drive right over the top of these bigger boulders without I might be kind of out of whack here, so I'm going to take it easy coming down, make sure I'm at 4, getting all the way into the 4 low I can get. I can just crawl right down it. Alright, give me a little, change gears a little higher, get a little more speed. And coming up a little muddy hill, but then I got this big pit of mud. The water's just standing in the road, so I'm gonna have to hit that with enough speed to just commit to going through it. And hopefully, yeah, not a problem. I've been through here enough. I knew that wouldn't be a big mud hole. So I think I've been through the worst of it now. Like I said, I should have stayed up there. Now that I've come back down, I didn't. Like I said, I got in there most of the way and got myself, I was sliding sideways because I didn't have the all the way into the 4 low with the lock on the axle. You can't lock the rear differential until you get it into 4 low. So once I committed to the 4 low, I was able to maintain. Now I did almost get stuck on the way up, climbing through a muddy hill, but again, that I had gravity to pull me down, and I had the ruts to keep me straight. Okay, one more, and I'll just give it some gas and just commit to going through this with one shot. I didn't rush it because I knew, again, it was pretty level, pretty safe. All right, another mud pit coming up. I got mud all the way up around on the roof and the sunroof. I slid open my sunroof, and there was mud splattered up there from crawling in there. But I would not take any of my other vehicles I've ever owned in there. Now, my wife had her Rubicon, which, yeah, probably could have made it, but I think the longer axle base on this Hummer gave it some stability that maybe the Rubicon wouldn't have had on the mud. And besides, she she'd threw a fit about to brought her Rubicon back in here. Yeah, all right. And now I'm getting tossed to and fro. I'd like to go on. I'm gonna have to. Come on, get me there. There we go. I wanted to get around the left side of that rock. I just didn't want to have to straddle that one. But I don't know anybody who could have had a truck that could have come and helped me in there, that I wouldn't be worried that they wouldn't have to spend the night with me too. Okay, get some rocks here. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's really muddy here. Most people wouldn't go past this area because I'm even driving 7 miles an hour. I'm fishtailing and with 4-wheel low and sliding all over, and the road's really controlling where I'm going. All right, gotta dip up here. I think I get a lot of sound out of my my shocks. I probably need to put some new shocks on here. Only had this thing about this summer about 2 weeks. My second one. Oh, I'm gonna try to straddle this if I can get up on it. No, I can't get up on it. There we go. Now I'm straddling it. Oh crap. All right, got my wheel in it, but that's all right. Like I said, I've got the tires. Okay. Now I'm all cockeyed and fishtailed because of that big rut, but not a problem. Well, I don't want to go that way. I'm going to go back this way if I can. That's a huge rut over there, but it's trying to make me go that way, so I'm gonna take a shortcut through the sagebrush to get back on the road. That was some of the worst action I've had there, but I was able to drive through that fairly easily. I never felt like I was gonna get stuck. I always felt like I had the power and the traction to keep moving forward. Almost to the main road, and I'll get out and take you around for a view of my beautiful Hummer after it's been on its first mud adventure. Like I said, I've driven this the other day when it was dry, and it was just fun to rock crawl up some of them bigger rocks that are back in there. But while I was hunting, but you see, this is just a mud hole in here, just a mud hole. But this thing, I think there's some of the best four-wheel drives on the road is the H2s, and most people think they're just a luxury vehicle. They think they're just big and obnoxious, but they do the job. All right, I'm gonna get out and walk around and see what the mud looks like. Okay, so you can see I got into some good mud, but she plowed right through it like a champ. That's what they're for. As they get older, they're less and less less and less of the luxury vehicle and more of just a tank in the mud over rocks. So I've got some upgrades I'm going to be doing to it, but she went right through that stuff pretty easy. Like I said, I wish I would have stayed in there. I guess I'll have to go find another place to go hunting.